Hello everyone, I am Dr. Ruchika from School of Humanities, RIMT University. Today we are going to talk about basic features of Indian Constitution. First of all, let's discuss what exactly is a constitution. In a very common language or a layman's language, you can call it set of rules or rules and regulations compiled together which are going to decide what is going to be the ruling structure, what is going to be the relationship between those who are ruling and those who are being ruled. In general, a constitution is a set of fundamental principles or established standards according to which a state or other organization is governed. Basically, as we all know, the setup, the administration of a country is set up, is run in three formats or in three ways. There are certain things which are taken care of by the union government, then the state government, and there are certain things which are being looked after by both of them mutually. So, whatever is going to be the part of, whatever is in the share of union government, what is in the share of state government, and what are the works that are being done by them mutually, and then what is going to be the relationship, how they are going to divide these tasks and how they are going to make rules about it, who are the ones who are going to take care of the policy making and then a policy implementation, and who is the one who is going to take care of any disputes in case. So, all these rules and regulations, that these are the part of constitution. So, when we compile all these rules and regulations together, this is what we call a constitution. So, this is what our Constitution of India looks like. As we all know, it took a long time, almost more than 2 years to get this book, to get this constitution in shape, and it was a hard task. It's a hard efforts done by various experts who have collected the information, who have collected the data from different countries. Basically, what you can say, it is the best of, it is a study that is derived from the best of constitutions from all over the world. So, talking about Indian Constitution, the Constitution of India is the supreme law of India. As you must have seen, there are various sort of systems to govern a country, wherever you must have heard about monarchy, aristocracy and democracy and so on. And when you talk about monarchy, as you know, the monarch or the king is the highest in position. Whatever he says, whatever his speech says, that is the law. But as per the Constitution of India, there is no one who is supreme. It is the law, it is the Constitution which is the supreme. It is the Constitution who is going to decide what the law is. What exactly is there in this Constitution? It is a framework defining fundamental political principles. See, briefly talking about Indian administration, we are living in a democratic setup wherein democracy can be described as demo plus cracy. What is the meaning of demo here? Demo means people, where people are ruling themselves directly or indirectly. At times they vote for their representatives, and at certain stages their representatives vote further and elect the further administration. So, when we choose our representatives politically by the means of voting, so all those things which are elect, all those people, all those positions, all those authorities which are a part of who are elected or appointed by electoral process are a part of political setup, and all those rules and regulations which are the governing guidelines of these political setups can be included as fundamental political principles. Then also it establishes the structure, procedure, powers and duties of government institution. What are these government institutions? See, as discussed earlier also, what the entire machinery, political and governmental machinery, is divided into three parts. The first one is legislative, one who legislates. Legislates means make the laws. Then executive or executive, the one who are going to be responsible for implementing the rules and regulation which are made by the legislative. And then third is judiciary. Judiciary is the one who is going to take care of any sort of disputes, or at times it also works as the interpreter of the constitution, interpreter of the laws that are being made by the legislator. Then also it also sets out fundamental rights, directive principles and duties of citizens. So in the first 2 points we all discussed about what it is going to be, the government machinery, the political setup and all that. Now the base of Indian administration is the individual, its people. It also, the Indian constitution also ensures some rights which are very important for the growth of a personality, growth of someone, an individual. And directive principles, these are basic some guidelines which we are going to discuss further. Now talking about the constitution in further, the very first page of our Indian constitution is preamble. What is the preamble? Preamble is basically an introductory statement of Indian constitution. Unlike Australia, US or Canada, the Indian constitution has an elaborate preamble, and its purpose is to clarify who has made the constitution, what is its source, what is the ultimate sanction behind it, what is the nature of polity and what are its goals and objectives. It lays emphasis on principles of equality, which is basic to the constitution. Every single aspect of Indian constitution or Indian administration is focusing towards the democratic setup. The people, the citizens of India are the base of it. Indian constitution is designed in a way that it talks about peoples. It is the voice of the people. Showing you preamble. So as the preamble states, we the people of India, as we discussed earlier, that it's the preamble states who is the one who has sanctioned it, who has sanctioned the constitution of India, who is the one who has framed the constitution. The very first line clears it, which is we the people of India, we the people of India, the citizens of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure all its citizens justice on social grounds, economic grounds and political grounds, then liberty of thought, of expression, belief, faith and worship, then equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all is fraternity, the brotherhood, measuring the dignity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and the integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, the 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves this constitution. What it means, we the people of India are giving this constitution to ourselves, which is going to ensure that everyone has equal right to get justice, liberty, equality, and most importantly we have to promote fraternity, so that this state, the state of India, the Union of India is a peaceful place wherein every individual has equal rights to grow. Now talking about the salient features of Indian constitution. The constitution of India has some outstanding features which distinguishes it from other constitutions. The framers of our constitution studied other constitutions, selected their valuable features and put them with necessary modifications in our constitution. They succeeded doing this. The fact that the constitution for the last 66 years has been working satisfactorily is a testimony to its quality and utility. See, as I told earlier also, the framers of Indian constitution studied the various constitution across the world in detail. Then they brought the best for us. See, situations and requirements are not same at every place. We have, Indian society has its own demands, requirements and circumstances in specific. So, we have, the framers of the constitution have brought the best and the things that were suitable as per Indian constituent, Indian society. So, that is why as we have brought the best of various constitutions from for Indian constitution, it is often called the bag of borrowings. Different things have been taken from different constitutions across the world. Then moving further, a written the very important feature of this our constitution is a written constitution. Can you believe even today there exists a country, a very great nation which has no written constitution even till now? Can you even guess which is that country? Yes, it's Britain. Even today there is no written constitution in British. In British context, it is often said that the sun never sets in British administration. The British democracy, the British constitution is regarded as the oldest one. There is no country, whether it's European or it's Asian or any country across the world, who has not borrowed something from British constitution. But still, it's really surprising that Britain has no written constitution. So, in Indian context, the Constitution of India is a written constitution. It was framed through Constituent Assembly, which was established for the very purpose of making it. There are two types of constitution in the world, most of them are written. The first modern written constitution was American Constitution. The British Constitution is unwritten. It consists of customs and conventions which have grown over the years. The framers of our constitution tried to put everything in black and white, which means whatever suits Indian society, Indian setup. Moving forward, Indian constitution is regarded as the longest constitution. Originally, it had only 395 articles divided into 22 parts and 8 schedules. A number of amendments, 98 so far, passed since its enforcement in 1950. 26 January 1950 was the date when it was formally enacted. Today it has 444 articles divided into 22 parts and 12 schedules. The Constitution of USA has only 7 articles and China 138, Japanese 103 and Canadian 107 articles. But Indian Constitution is regarded as the longest one, having 395 articles. Moving forward, a very important feature and interesting feature of Indian Constitution, it is a rigid yet flexible. How? See, it has to be rigid. After all, it is a matter of so many people belonging to different languages, different society, different religions, all have to be brought at one platform. All have to be Indians. We have to make sure everybody is given equal treatment, equal and fair treatment. So, rules have to be very strict. Although, see, change is the law of nature, we cannot deny it. Although Indian Constitution is a very rigid one, nobody can change the Indian Constitution as per its own convenience. But yet, keeping in mind the law of nature which is change, Indian constitution is flexible as well. As we discussed in the last point also, there are so many amendments, 98 so far has been done. What is the amendment? These are changes. These are some additions or removals which has been done in Indian constitution, keeping in view the current situation, the demand of the hour, the need of the hour. So, time to time there have been changes in Indian constitution, some laws which are no longer relevant have been removed and some additions has been done as per the requirement. And why we call it rigid and flexible at both at the same time is, it is rigid that nobody can change it on their own, and it is flexible, yes we can change it, but with a proper procedure, which means by getting some sort of majority, which is different procedure at every level. Moving forward, talking about the citizens, our Indian constitution has granted Indian citizens 6 fundamental rights, which are right to equality, freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion and educational rights, and the most important one is the right to constitutional remedies. What do you mean by right to constitutional remedies? It is the one basically which protects or safeguards the rest of our rights. These are incorporated in part 3 of constitution, and it has been taken from the Constitution of United States of America. Moving forward, directive principles of state policy. What are these directive principles of state policy? Basically, as the name says itself, these are some directions, although following or implementing these is not any state or any government is not bound to implement it, but yes, these are some directing or guiding principles for the state while making some sort of policy. The directive principles of state policy are inspired from the Irish, the Constitution of Ireland. It is a unique feature of a constitution, though they are not enforced, but these are expected to guide the governance of the country. Constitution enumerates several directive principles of state policy which are intended to be implemented by the state and central government in due course. They are aimed at the promotion of material and moral well-being of the people and to transform India into a welfare state, wherein we are talking about the well-being of Indian citizens. Some of the examples for directive principles are: there should be no concentration of wealth and means of production to the determinant of common man. Then comes fundamental duties. Another salient feature of Indian constitution is incorporation of fundamental duties of citizens. The amendment to the constitution, the 42nd amendment to Indian constitution added fundamental duties inspired from USSR. The 42nd amendment of 1976 added article 51A to the constitution, requiring all the citizens irrespective of caste, color, religion and position to fulfill 10 duties. Failure to perform these does not bring any penalty, but the citizens are expected to follow them. For example, to abide by the constitution and respect its ideals and institution, the national flag and the national anthem, to cherish and follow the noble ideas which inspired our national struggle for freedom, uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity and integrity of India, to defend the country and render national services when called upon to do so, and so on. Moving further, in last few points we have been discussing sovereignty, sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic and republic. Let's talk about this. What are these things? Basically, the constitution declares India as sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic and republic. The word socialist and secular were added in the preamble of the constitution by 42nd amendment in 1976. Yes, it seems quite strange, but yes, the words socialist and secular were not the part of Indian constitution or preamble originally. They were added only in 1976. What does it mean being sovereign? See, before 1947, India was a nation, but it was administrated as per British rule, British rules and regulation. Any country to be a sovereign state has to have its own people, its own population, its own territory and its own government. Before 1947 also, we did have original Indians, Indian population, Indian state territory, but the rules and the administration was as per British principles. The orders used to come from British Parliament. And after 1947, the people of India chose to have their own government. And now onwards, then onwards, we are a sovereign state having our own people, own territory and our own government. So, this is what sovereignty is, when we are free from any sort of external control. Moving forward, what is socialist principle? All of you must have heard about an era, about a time wherein the society was divided into two parts, the richer ones and you can say the poor ones, the haves and have-nots. Just to ensure that this sort of a setup is not repeated, this sort of arrangement is not repeated, India has been declared as a socialist state, which means it implies a system which will endeavor to avoid concentration of wealth in few hands, and it will assure its equitable distribution, wherein everybody is getting an equal and fair opportunity to grow. It also implies that India is against any exploitation in all forms and believes in economic justice to all its citizens. Then is democratic, as discussed earlier also. What demo means? People, and cracy or cratic means the rule, where people rules themselves. There is a very famous definition of democracy by Sir Abraham Lincoln, which is democracy is a setup or a form of government by the people, for the people and of the people. Means the power of government is vested in the hands of people. People exercise power through their elective representatives, who in turn are responsible to them, and all the citizens enjoy equal political rights. Moving forward, the preamble of India also declares India to be a republic. What does it mean to be a republic? The head of the state is not a hereditary monarch, but a president who is indirectly elected by the people for a definite period. Then the next very important feature of Indian constitution is it declares India to be a parliamentary democracy. What it means to be a parliamentary democracy? In India, there is a parliamentary form of government. The majority party in the Lok Sabha forms government. The government is being run by Prime Minister and other members who are known to be his council of ministers. The cabinet exercises the executive and its powers and is responsible to the concerned legislature. In presidential form of government, the president is executive head. In India, the president is the nominal head. What does it mean? See, as such, the entire administration is looked after by Prime Minister and his council of ministers. They are the president is the final authority, but he is just the nominal head. The president does everything, he takes all the decisions as per on the advice of Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers. Often in Indian context, president is also called the rubber stamp. Then next is federal government with unitary, a very interesting feature in Indian context. India is a federation. What does it mean being the federal government, federalism or federation, wherein powers are divided? Yes, in Indian administration also powers are divided on various stages. Like in general or in the broader criteria, it is divided into two steps, which is the central government and the state government. Then the states are further divided into local self governments, which we can take it as panchayats and so on. India is a federation, although the word federation cannot be seen in the whole text. The elements of federation are present in Indian constitution. Nowhere in the preamble or in the constitution India has been declared a federal government, but the elements of federation do exist. There is constitutional division of powers between the center and the state. There is also an independent judiciary. Having an independent judiciary which is not bound with any type of central or state government, it shows the unitary element, and wherein we have division of powers between state and center. Both of them are free to work in their own way, as shows the federal feature. The Supreme Court arbitrates the disputes between the center and states. All these provisions make India federal, but in Indian federation the center is strong as compared to the states. The center has more financial powers and the states largely depend on their economic development. Moving further, very important point, which is judicial review. Another significant feature of Indian constitution is the provision of judicial review. This means that the Supreme Court of India is empowered to declare a law passed by Indian Parliament as null and void if it is inconsistent with fundamental rights. What it means is, if any such law has been passed by Indian Parliament which the Supreme Court of India takes as against the fundamental rights of Indian citizen, the Supreme Court has all the power to declare this as null and void. In case of the acts passed by state legislature, the power is vested with the concerned high courts. Moving forward, the very important tool or an important feature of Indian constitution, which is universal adult franchise. It is the power of the Indian citizen. Article 326 of Constitution of India provides universal adult suffrage. The voting age has now come down from 21 to 18. Anybody who has completed 18 years of age, irrespective of his caste, creed, sex, religion, is eligible to vote in general elections. This is one of the most revolutionary aspects of Indian democracy. Moving forward, we do have provision of single citizenship. As seen in many Western countries, we do see these are, as India is also a union of states, and we see United States of America, United Kingdom, UK. As per their constitution, they people enjoy dual citizenship. For example, an American citizen is a citizen of America as well as the citizen of that particular state where he lives in. But in India, although we do have around 29 states, but every single citizen, right from Jammu and Kashmir to Kanyakumari, north to south and east to west, everybody has only one citizenship, which is Indian citizenship. They don't enjoy any different provisions instead of some exceptions in some areas, but all of them are Indian citizens. The founding father provided for single citizenship despite the federal structure. Unlike US, Indian constitution has single citizenship where all citizens are entitled to same rights all over the country. There are some exceptions, but in general it is single citizenship all over. That was all about Indian constitution, the main features. Thank you so much.